Hello, and welcome back to the At-Home Educator podcast. Hi, it is Brittany here again, and I am back with another episode of The Month by the Numbers. So today we are going to be going through April by the numbers, and I will just be kind of going through what I did this month, how many classes I taught, how much money I was able to bring in, some of the new certifications that I got, my thoughts on them. I'm also going to assess my goals from last month. So if you didn't listen to my last Month by the Number podcast, so that was March by the numbers. Sorry, I forgot what month it was. That was March by the numbers. Go ahead and listen to that so that you can hear my goals. I'll go through them again here, but you can listen to that one as well. And I will leave that below as well for you to check out. So I'll be going through my goals that I set last month, and I will be setting some new goals. And before we get started, I just wanted to kind of go through why I think that doing these podcasts are so important. And by doing these podcasts, I don't mean the podcast in general, because the podcast in general has some very important reasons too, but these Month by the Number podcasts specifically are important because I think that it's important to share our progress. I hope that this helps new teachers or people who are thinking about becoming teachers with VIPKid by showing them kind of the potential that they have. I work very minimally with VIPKid because I am still taking care of a pretty young child. She is 10 months old, so she takes up a lot of my time during the day. So I usually just work in the mornings on the weekdays. I don't have another brick and mortar job. This is all that I do, and I work very minimally. So if you are looking for that and you're looking to see how much you can make working, the minimal amount of hours a week, I work about 17 hours a week on average. So if you're looking for that, then definitely stick around so you can hear what you can do. And if you're already a VIPKid teacher, hopefully this inspires you to kind of go through your own month and look at your own numbers and, progress and see what you can do to make yourself better. Because as teachers, we should always be trying to improve, always be trying to do better than we did before, and always learning new things. So now that we've covered that, let's go ahead and dive right in. So this April was the month that I taught the most classes I ever have, so I'm very proud of that personally. I taught 128 classes, and for some of you, I know that's Little League stuff, but for working, like I said before, only about 17 hours a week, that is pretty good to me. So yeah, I taught 128 classes this month, and that is out of the 141 slots that I opened to teach. So I was pretty much fully booked. Now, I will say that this month I had a lot of cancellations and a lot of slots that just kind of didn't fill, and I'm not exactly sure why that happened. I think that it's just because in China they're about to take exams, and then at the end of this month was a holiday. Today is May Day. May 1st is May Day in China, so nobody has school, things like that. So I think that might have just impacted it, but it was still a very good month. Like I said, this was the month that I taught the most classes I ever have in one month. So I taught 128 classes this month, and that came to a total of $1,288. And this is before taxes because you are an independent contractor with VIPKid, so they do not take out taxes. Whenever you file your taxes, you deal with that, and that's something that maybe I'll talk about in the future, but we won't dive too much into that right now. Just know that that is before taxes. So to break that number down for you, the $1,288, I earned $1,024 of that from just teaching major courses. So those are just normal classes. And this month that was with level 3s, 4s, and 5s. And then I taught one TOEFL primary class. If you don't know what TOEFL primary is, TOEFL is the exam that children take as English language learners. Usually it's used pretty standardly internationally. So parents with VIPKid can sign their children up to take TOEFL classes to prepare their children for the TOEFL exam if they're trying to do something like travel abroad, get into a student exchange program, things like that. So I taught one of those classes because that was a new certification for me, and I earned $8 from that. That is just my standard earnings as well. I don't get paid any more for those classes. That's just the standard amount that I usually get paid. So that was a total of $1,032 just from teaching classes. Now, I also got $128 extra dollars from participation incentives, and I covered this a little bit last month in my last month breakdown, but I will say it again. The participation incentives are basically just an extra dollar that you get for teaching that class and for your student showing up. So I got $1 extra per class. So technically, instead of making $8 per class, I make $9 per class, but for some reason they add that in separately. So I made $128 just from those participation incentives. Now, this number is going to increase. VIPKid is a great company, and they often run PowerPoint. I call it PowerPoint, but that's not correct. It's PPT slot incentives. PPT is just the abbreviation for PowerPoint. I think that's why in my head that comes to mind. But PPT actually stands for peak time. So if you look on your schedule with VIPKid, you will see tags that say peak next to certain times and tags that say PPT, and that means peak time. This is from 7 to 9 p.m. Beijing time, and that means that students are the most likely to book you at that time. So sometimes, most months actually, VIPKid will do promotions where if you open a certain number of PPT slots, then they will pay you some extra incentive at the end of the month. And since it is not usually takes like 3 days for them to add those into your paycheck. That number is not added in yet, but I know that I did open the amount of slots that was required this month for the PPT incentive, so that will be added in. Probably not too much more. It'll probably come out to about maybe $1,300 in total for the month. And if you're wondering on how to know if they are doing a PPT incentive, always make sure that you check your promotions tab in the notifications section of the teacher portal. That is where the announcements will be. And then also they usually send you an email and it'll outline, how many slots you need to open and how much you'll get paid for that amount of slots and what time period it's for. So always be checking those promotions tabs and always be checking your email for those things. I know they are running one for May as well. So if you haven't checked that out yet, go ahead and check your promotions tab, check your email, so you can make sure you open up those slots for that. So that is basically my April by the numbers. I am very happy with myself this month. $1,200 is amazing for me, only working as much as a part-time job, probably even less than a part-time job normally would. And being able to stay home. So I'm very happy with that. And I hope that whatever you made, you are very happy with as well. It's important to remember that we all have different schedules. We all have different demands. Some of you may be still brick and mortar teachers, and obviously you're not going to spend as much time in your online classroom as you are for your kiddos in your brick and mortar classroom. So maybe you're not bringing in as much, but that's okay. Maybe you worked more and you made more. That's wonderful too. So whatever works for you is what works for you, and don't feel intimidated by anybody else's numbers. It's May 1st, so a lot of people will be putting their numbers out there. Just remember that you should always be doing what is best for you. So I hope that you are happy with whatever you made this month as well. All right, so now let's dive into the fun part, which is assessing how I did on my goals last month. I am a big proponent of keeping yourself accountable. So I try to evaluate myself for how I did on these goals at the end of the month and kind of adjust my goals for the next month based on how well I did. Maybe I was too ambitious. Maybe I was lazy and I should try harder next month. So anyways, let's go ahead and go through what my goals were for last month. So last month, really for April, my goals were to teach 150 classes, get 2 new referrals, get certified in level 3, and to make 5 new classroom resources for Teachers Pay Teachers. So let's start with the first one, teach 150 classes. Now, if you were listening before, you know I did not reach this goal. I taught 128 classes, but I am going to count that as a win for me. That's about 20 classes off. That's not very much. That's like a week of classes off. And honestly, there were a lot of cancellations this month just because, like I said before, I think it was exam time and holiday time, and there's just a lot going on probably for these students. So I'm going to count 128 as a win. I worked really hard this month. I feel like I did not take very many days off, and I was a tired teacher. I'm sure all of you can feel me on that one. We have to get up early, and coffee can only do so much. So I'm going to count my 128 classes as a win. Now, my next goal was to get 2 referrals, and I mostly had this goal just because VIPKid was offering an incentive in April for getting a certain number of referrals, so they would pay you a little bit extra, and I did not reach that goal. I did not get any referrals this month. If you're wondering what a referral is, it's just a new teacher that you help through the hiring process with VIPKid. And I did not do that this month, but that is okay. The great thing about VIPKid is that it's not like a multi-level marketing company. So a lot of multi-level marketing companies will base your status with the company off of how many people you can refer or bring on board with the company, things like that. VIPKid is not like that at all. They provide the referral option kind of as like a bonus. So if you don't want to refer anybody, then that's fine. You don't have to refer anyone. You still make the same amount of money that you would normally. You don't get paid any more as a teacher if you refer people. Referrals are just kind of like an incentive to bring your friends on, to bring your family on, to bring people on into the wonderful world of VIPKid. So since I didn't get these 2 referrals, I kind of lowered my money that I was planning on making this month, but it is completely fine because it doesn't affect me really at all. I would still love to get more referrals. I love helping people through the hiring process. I've only gotten 1 so far, but it was fun to help her, and I would love to help you as well if you're listening and you're not a VIPKid teacher. So if you are wanting to become one and you do want a coach to help you through the process and you think that I would be a good fit for you, then please go ahead and use the link in the description to check that out. And also contact me through my email so that I know that you're trying to refer or to make me your referee. But you know, like I said before, if you're already a VIPKid teacher and you're worried about all this talk about referrals, don't, because it doesn't affect your standing with VIPKid at all. It is just a bonus, an extra way for you to make some cash on the side if you have friends or family that want to sign up. And if you don't, then you're completely fine. So that's a great thing about VIPKid. And I'm not too upset about not hitting that goal. Now, my third goal was to get level 3 certified, and I am proud to say that I did do this. So I am now certified to teach levels 3, 4, and 5. I don't think I'm going to go any lower than that just because I love little kids. I do, but the language barrier is really hard for me. It's really hard for me for some reason to not use incidental language, which is like extra words to explain things. And so that would not be my strong suit. And I don't think I'm going to go any lower than level 3 because any lower than that, you definitely need to be good at not using incidental language, using TPR a lot, which I do use TPR, but I don't use it as my only way of communication. So I think I'm just going to stick with levels 3, 4, and 5 for now. Hopefully I'll be able to do level 6 soon so I can teach those even older kiddos. But for right now, I'm happy with level 3. I'm also happy to say that I got quite a few supplementary certifications this month as well. I got 3 of them. So I did the TOEFL primary certification, and I talked a little bit about that before. TOEFL is basically like the standard international test for English as a second language learners. So when kids want to sign up for student exchange programs or take some kind of summer course about English or something like that, usually they will have to take the TOEFL test beforehand, and the TOEFL primary courses through VIPKid are a way that parents can kind of put their kids through a prep course for the test. So you know how in America when we take the SAT or the ACT, sometimes our parents will sign us up for prep courses beforehand so that we do better. It's the same kind of thing but with VIPKid and for the TOEFL test. So those classes I am certified to teach now. I also got my certification in Free Talk and in Grammar Beginner. I have only taught classes in my Level 3 certification and in my TOEFL primary certification. I haven't taught any Free Talk classes or any grammar classes, but you guys actually reached out to me on Instagram. Well, some of you did, and you told me that the Free Talk classes are super fun. And I've also heard that the grammar classes are super fun. So hopefully I will get to teach some of those next month. And I'm excited for that. Hopefully this will kind of diversify my schedule. I was only certified to teach levels 4 and 5 before. And while I do love teaching level 4 and 5, because the kiddos are so fun, you can have conversations with them. They do all kinds of cool things. I do love teaching them. I would like to kind of get out of that wheelhouse a little bit sometimes, just to kind of break up the monotony. You can only teach lessons about aquatic and semi-aquatic animals so many times before you get tired of making whale sounds at the computer. So hopefully those classes will kind of help to diversify my schedule. Now, my fourth goal was to create 5 TPT resources, which are TPT is Teachers Pay Teachers, and it's a great website where you can go and find resources, some for free, some you have to pay for. You can download on the computer and use in your classroom. So I wanted to create 5 of these this month, and I only created 3, and if you want to check those out, I will leave the links below. I have a conjugation chart, a find a star reward, and a feedback guide, which I'm very proud of my feedback guide. So that's available on Teachers Pay Teachers as well. So like I said, I'll leave the links for those below. But obviously, I did not reach my goal of creating 5, but I'm okay with that just because I'm working on some more comprehensive bundles for levels 4 and 5s that hopefully will come out next month. I'm trying to make things that are not just, one-pagers that you print out and laminate super quick and easy, although those are great. So there will be more of those to come, but I'm trying to create some more comprehensive things that will really help you guys out. So stay tuned for those. And that kind of brings me to my next point, which is our last point, and that is my goals for the month of May. So last month, April, was a very busy month for me. Like I said before, it was the most classes I've ever taught in a month. I had a lot going on, and so in May, I kind of decided to take a step back a little bit. So my goals for May is to teach. My first goal is to teach 100 classes. This is just because I will be out of town the second week of May for a wedding, so I'm not going to be teaching anytime that week. And then also just because I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break because I think I deserve it. And that's another great thing about this job is that if you want to roll back your time slots, if you want to roll back how many classes you're teaching, then you can, and it's you setting your own schedule. So that's a great thing, and I'm very thankful that I'm able to do that. So that's my first goal, to teach 100 classes in May. My second goal is to make 3 new classroom resources on TPT. And if you didn't know, I always do TPT Tuesdays on my Instagram and on my Facebook. So if you're not already following me on Instagram, make sure you check that out so you can see resources every Tuesday. Most of them are free. I haven't posted any that you have to pay for yet. But obviously that may be to come. Things that don't take me very long to make, I just make for free because I love sharing with you guys and I don't mind it. But anything that I have to work on for quite a while probably won't be free. But I will still share them with you, and hopefully you trust me enough to pay the small amount that will help me out to get them. But like I said, most of them are free. So make sure that you're following me on Instagram, or you are part of our Facebook group, or you like my page as on Facebook. My name is Teacher Brittany Summerhays. So you can always stay up to date for those. And so this month, like I said, my goal is to make 3 of those new resources on TPT. And my last goal for the month of May is to shift my schedule. So right now, my schedule is that I work Sunday through Friday from 4:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., which is a lot. It's not quite a lot of hours, but it's hard to get up that early every single day of the week, especially when you have things going on like a baby who doesn't want to sleep, so then you're up until midnight, or, you want to spend time watching TV or just relaxing because, we all know if you have kids, the adult time happens after the kids go to bed. So so after my daughter goes to bed, then I get to relax and watch TV and eat treats and things like that, so that then she's not trying to eat them from me the whole time. So I want to shift off of that schedule, Sunday through Friday, 4:30 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., just because it's hard to get up that early, that many days in a row. And then I was also working Friday nights from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m., which that works fine with me. I don't mind because I'm pretty much a night owl, but it's hard getting up that early on Fridays at 4:30 and then staying up until midnight. I think it's something that I'll keep, though, when I shift my schedule, just because I don't mind it, because I get to sleep in on Saturdays, because I don't work on Saturdays. So the schedule that I'm aiming for is to work Mondays and Tuesdays from 4 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., take off Wednesdays, work Thursday and Friday from 4 a.m. to 7:30 a.m., take off Saturdays, and then work Sundays from 5 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. So Sundays will kind of be, I know this is ridiculous to say, but I'll be sleeping in because I don't have to teach until 5. So that's the schedule I'm aiming for, and hopefully that will give me a little bit more rest time so that then I'm not getting up so many days in a row so early. And then that's it. So my goals for May are to teach 100 classes, make 3 new classroom resources, and to successfully shift my schedule. And like I said, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoy these. I hope that this was helpful in some way. And personally, I love seeing these. So if you have a video or an Instagram post about where you share your goals for the month of May, please share it with me. You can message me on Instagram. You can email me. You can reach out to me through my website, which is @homeeducatorpodcast.com. And you can reach out to me on Facebook, whatever works best for you. I'd love to see your goals. I'd love to hear about your goals. And I'd love to hear from you. So yeah, let me know. What are your goals for the month of May? How did you do last month? Did you meet all of your goals? How many classes did you teach? How much money did you make? What's your schedule like? I love to hear about all of these things from other teachers, and you guys really keep me interested, and I'm so thankful to be part of this community. So that is it. That is all that I have for you guys. Thank you for sitting and listening to me sharing, and remember, I'd love to hear from you. So make sure that you teach regularly, play often, and live your best life, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.